and welcome back to Shayanti Fine Arts. As you can see, today we are going to work with acrylic paints and we are going to create a painting of a very easy and basic surreal moon. The reason I'm calling it surreal is because it is not 100% completely realistic moon painting. That was not my intention. My intention was to teach you a very simple and easy way to paint a moon so that you can incorporate that and create your own Halloween paintings. So I hope you love this video. Let me know in your likes and comments, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Unlike usual, I have not started off with a toned canvas. The reason being, I had to kind of cover the whole canvas with the purple blue colors that was going to be the base of my painting. So that's why I thought there is no need of actually toning the canvas, and that worked out fine. So the base coating of this canvas was with the colors purple. So I wanted the sky to be of purple color. Obviously, if I'm incorporating purple and trying to build a gradient, I started with a purple in the middle mixed with a little bit of white so that it's like a light mauvish purple color. And as I went towards the edges, I added more blue to it. And at the very ends and corners and edges, you can see that I have even incorporated a little bit black with the blue to get the very dark ends, and thus to build a gradient from light to dark slowly, the middle being the lightest and the edges being the darkest. And this probably will not be achieved by applying just a simple single layer of light little bit amount of paint. You will need quite a bit of paint and probably at least 2 or 3 layers. Now you can see that I am using my stiff round brush and creating some stars by flicking some white paint on it. I dilute the paint a little bit with water and then I flick it towards the canvas, not towards yourself. Then you will be flicked with the stars instead of the canvas. Now to create the moon, I start with alternating with a filbert brush, or even a bright brush would work, and a stiff round brush. So I apply the paint sharply with that bright brush and then use the stiff round brush to kind of smudge the edges and get a hazy effect. This will create the effect of the craters, the ups and downs on the surface of the moon. Now, had I wanted to create a more realistic moon, then I probably would have covered the entire surface first with white and then come back with some shadows and darks. And someday I will definitely paint a realistic moon, and I'll show you what's the difference between the two. But for now, I am just creating the impression of the moon. It's a much easier way. At the same time, because of the purples and blues in the sky, it kind of looks very surreal, and that is what the look I was going for. I'm personally not a big fan of Halloween, but I like celebrating every occasion in an artist way, and thus I thought, okay, let me just try to paint a moon. Now you can see that I've created some ripples in the water, and I did not record that part because the moon was the focus of this painting. And I just create some wiggly lines with the white paint mixed somewhat with somewhere with purple and somewhere with blues to create the reflection in the ripples of the water. Now then I thought of adding a face to the side of the painting because just the moon was not being satisfactory to me. I wanted to do my kind of painting, wanted to add a silhouette kind of face. So that is what I'm currently doing. And off and on in this painting, you will see me using the mop brush, which actually I use a makeup brush when I use a mop brush in case of acrylic painting, because it does not shed and works even better than the usual mop brushes. Now for the silhouette, I am using a combination of the same purple, blue and black, the darkest being the black mixed with the blue, and the lightest areas being mauvish. And at the very edges I've used some titanium white for the bright highlights. And this was not the key thing that I wanted to demonstrate in this painting. It was still the moon, but still, since I added the face, I thought I'd show you as well how I create a silhouette portraits. So probably an additional learning in this particular project. Now you can see that I am using the stiff round brush and creating some impression of clouds in the sky. Now at this point it looks really ugly, but trust me, let it dry. I'm going to first blend out most of it and let it dry, and then come back with several glazes of purples and blues on top of it. Fade out to push some of it backwards, and then it will look fine. Just have to bear with me a little bit longer. Now along the horizon line I kind of wanted it to be a little bit hazy, so for this particular area the usual titanium white would not work. Instead I have used a zinc white paint to get that effect of haze and a kind of glaze over the color, so get it light but yet not create a foggy look, but create a hazy transparent look. So this particular paint is not available in the Liquitex Basics set. It is available only in the heavy body, so use a transparent mixing white from the Liquitex heavy body range if you want this kind of a look, wherever you want to use a transparent white paint. Now, like I said, as you can see, I am building several layers with phthalo blue and dioxazine purple on top of the clouds to push back some of those white clouds behind. I don't want all of it pushed back, but at the same time I don't want all of those ugly smudgy whites to kind of shine through the painting. So several glazes will come to the point where I would get the right amount of clouds to show and some of it pushed back. Now you can see that I am actually smudging some of the ripples that I had previously created. The reason is that I'm trying to build a slow gradient where the closer to the horizon the ripples are kind of farther away from you, so obviously to create the illusion of depth they will be a little bit less visible than the ones that are closer to you or the painter or the viewer. So to do that, some of the ripples that I had at the back, I am smudging them out a little bit by glazing layers of paint over it, while I'm letting the forward layers be a little more prominent. And in the entire painting you will see that I have used glazing tremendously. So the same painting you can do it with oil paints, that way the blending would be much easier. However, because I have glazed so many layers, and in case of glazing you have to let the previous layer dry completely to come back with a new layer of glaze, so that would take a lot of time in case of oil painting, even if you are using the fast drying mediums. Now you can see that I'm coming back with the bright titanium white, and I am applying it more on one side of the painting and less one side of the moon and less on the other side. The reason being is that I want to create a 3D look, kind of like the spherical look which the moon actually has. And if I apply the paint equally on all sides, then that look cannot be achieved. So you have to understand and choose which side of the moon you want brighter than the other side if you want that 3D look. Also creating some rays of light to kind of show that the light is bouncing off certain high points of the moon. Now you will see that I am trying to create some brighter stars than the rest of the background stars. And this did not happen at one go. You can see that I have created some blotches here, which I will have to, some of it I will even erase, some of it I'll glaze with blue colors on top of it to push it back a little bit and then redo it. So it had to be done in several attempts. Creating some more of ripples, darkening some of it and lightening some of it to create the look that I want. Like you can see, like I said, the stars initially did not work. Then I came back with a stiff round brush and this kind of worked better. And I had to use some mop brush as well and fan out some of the brightness of the stars and come back and glaze over with some purples to dull it out a little bit and go from a bright center to a dimmed, hazed out look. So the stars must have a bright center but slowly must dim out as it moves away from the center. So you can see I'm generously moving my mop brush all over the surface to create that smoother look and get rid of any brush strokes that I'm creating while I'm glazing at different places. If you're seeing me use my finger to tap the paint, that is because I want that paint, those stars to be a little bit duller than when I apply the straight up paint. Now I'm working the final layers on my face, and this is close to the ending of the painting. And if I had not used wanted to put that face in the painting, then probably I didn't have to put so much attention in this area. But since I have, so I will go ahead and show you how I created the gradient on the face as well, and make sure that you understand where your light source is and accordingly build your shadows. So where the light is reflecting off the face, obviously the high bones, and from which area the light is reflecting. So obviously where the light is reflecting, it will be lighter than the rest of the areas, and the farthest away from that area would be your darkest areas of the face. Accordingly build your lights and darks and shadows. And like the rest of the painting, I have used the same shades of purple, mauve, blue, and a little bit of black in the end to create the darkest of the areas dark enough. And in the strands of the hair and the highlights of the face, I have used some titanium white as well. In this painting, I have not used any unbleached titanium white like I generally use in most of my paintings. I have a tendency to use unbleached titanium white in almost all of the painting, apart from the brightest highlights where I use the titanium white. But in this case, I have used titanium white mostly and no unbleached titanium white at all, because I just mixed the titanium white with purple wherever I wanted it to not be the brightest highlights. So I guess that kind of makes sense. If not, let me know. I'll try to explain it better next time. And you can see that I'm still building on some darks and shadows, and this is probably a good technique to learn if you're interested in silhouette paintings, especially silhouette figures or portraiture. And I am very fond of those kind of paintings. So I don't know if you would like to see some more of this kind. Let me know in the comments and I'll surely come up with more, because I definitely enjoy doing them a lot. And I hope you use the idea of creating this easy moon in your Halloween paintings, and let me know how it worked for you. I'm always interested to know how people use the instructions that they get in the videos, and what works and what does not work. And that's why I always encourage to share your thoughts in the comment section. It is very useful for a teacher to help understand what is understandable, because I can explain something in my own way, but it might not be as simple for you to understand. So knowing makes it obviously better. And that brings us almost to the end of the painting. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.